insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Sabrina Turner.
Good morning, and welcome to the Business Buzz. My name is Orrett Connor. I'm filling in for Miss Sabrina Turner this morning, so it is my pleasure to be here on the Business Buzz. First of all, I want to remind you that the Business Buzz, Radio Cayman's Business Buzz, is proudly sponsored by greenturtle.ky, where you can get your new phone at greenturtle.ky. No stress, no fuss at greenturtle.ky. Also brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies. You can call them at 949-6211. And let us not forget that we're also sponsored by Grape Tree Cafe in Bordentown. Telephone them at 324-5860. So those are sponsors for the Business Buzz, and we will be promoting them throughout the course of the show this morning as well. On the first segment of Business Buzz this morning, we will be talking about International Credit Union Day, and it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Mr. Kurt Tibbetts. Many of you know him as the Honorable D. Kurt Tibbetts, former leader of government business, former member of our Legislative Assembly, but more importantly, a member of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association's credit union. We also have with us Ms. Patrice Bearsing, who is the marketing manager of the credit union as well. Lady and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Business Buzz. It's a pleasure to have both of you on this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. Thanks for having us.
Very good morning to you, Orrett. I saw you riding the other day when you were still in good shape, so you're doing well.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry that I feel so old this morning, because when I sit by Patrice, I realize and remember that she was in class with my daughter, my first child. So here I am doing this show with her. And I'm saying to myself, boy, you're really getting old.
Well, first of all, we're going to ask Ms. Bearsing to tell us about International Credit Union Day, the whole concept of it when it started, and then we're going to get into our own local credit union here and the membership and what is being planned for International Credit Union Day as well. Ms. Bearsing.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. So International Credit Union Day is not a new concept. It's not a local concept either. It's traditionally celebrated the third Thursday of every October for the past 70 years all over the globe. Mm-hmm. There are approximately 65,000 credit unions all over the world, and the World Council of Credit Unions established this day to celebrate the spirit of the global credit union movement. It's recognized to reflect upon the credit union movement's history, promote its achievements, and recognize the hard work and share member experiences. And this year, it's going to be celebrated on Thursday, October 18th.
Okay, and there is a theme for International Credit Union Day as well. Can we tell our audience about that?
Yes, the theme this year is Find Your Platinum Lining in Credit Unions, and it's basically playing on the saying of, in every cloud there's a silver lining. So I guess in this concept, they're trying to establish the authentic difference between credit union and other financial differences. We're not the silver lining, the gold lining. We're at the very top. You can find your platinum lining in the credit union difference.
Mm-hmm. And what is the ultimate goal of the International Credit Union Day?
Right, just to recognize the achievements of the credit union movement globally. And to share member experiences and to look back for the past 70 years to see where the credit union has grown or come from.
Okay, we want to talk a little bit now about our local credit union. We're now in an era where we see a lot of our local banks, people are complaining about the level of customer service that they're getting. Some of them are complaining. It appears as if they don't even want our money anymore, because every time we go to do business with them, they're charging us fees here, they're charging us fees there. Tell us about the importance of our local credit union. When it was started, some of the founding members as well, and the importance of our local credit union to our economy and to the people of the Cayman Islands.
All right, that could last for a very long time,
I know.
the answer. But Patrice was pointing her finger at me since I'm a little older. So there are some advantages.
Yes.
Credit union was started in 1975. The very first annual general meeting was held in 1976. So the next general meeting, which is on the 28th of November at the Family Life Center, will be the 43rd AGM for the credit union. Some of the founding fathers of the credit union, if I may call them that, were Louis Moncrief, Lem Hurlstone, and there was also Sissy Della Penna.
She actually came from Jamaica.
She came from Jamaica at that time. She ended up staying here, God rest her soul, and she ended up owning the famous Pagoda restaurant. But there was also another gentleman by the name of Mr. Alexander, who used to work in the Treasury, who was there at the very beginning. So those days were the fledgling days of the credit union, and it has grown from strength to strength. I myself was very happy to be able to become a member of the credit union when I got elected as a member of the Legislative Assembly, because at the time it was only government employees. Then it had a few little spin-offs, and it morphed a little bit to family of government employees, etc. So, and the credit union definitely has grown from strength to strength. I just want to quickly say to you, the point you're making about, or the point you made about people thinking ill of some of the international financial institutions now. I'm going to be very guarded and careful here because I don't wish to castigate.
Yes.
But I will tell you my personal thought. When I phone somewhere and I get this recording and it tells me a whole pile of instructions and hogwash, I just wish that I could see somebody so that I could tell them what I think. Credit union, not really like that. You got automated systems for telephone and stuff like that. And I'm not really arguing about that, but it's like it's a machine that tells you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And the credit union is much more personalized than that. The other thing I want to say, because of recent happenings, is as a member of the credit union, if I have $1 in the credit union and someone else has $1 million in the credit union, we still have one vote each.
Yes.
And there's a big difference there. So I believe at all times, and I say this without fear of contradiction in the real sense of the word, that my credit union is a much better financial institution for me to have an association with than any other institution of financial means here in the Cayman Islands. And as I said, I was being very guarded, but I am confident that the day will never come when I have to go somewhere else because I can't deal with my credit union. And I'm extremely proud of the management and staff and the boards of our credit union.
And you get a real good personalized service when you go there as well. Ms. Patrice, I want you to tell our audience about some of the activities that are planned to celebrate International Credit Union Day as well.
Right. So we spoke about the international aspect of Credit Union Day. Locally, we're going to celebrate ICU Day by focusing on our members. So for our Cayman Islands Civil Service Association Credit Union annually, we've been doing a members appreciation event every year on International Credit Union Day because it's all about our members. So just like Mr. Tibbet say, our members own the credit union. That's how we differ from a bank. It's our earnings go back to the members through higher saving rates and lower loans rates and dividends, as opposed to going to stockholders with a commercial bank.
Right.
And to show our appreciation, we have this amazing day where we do several activities, and we're going to go through them right now.
Okay.
So starting at 12:30, all the way down to 6 o'clock, the grounds of the credit union, that's 58 Huldah Avenue, right across from the cricket field. It's going to come alive with interactive games for kids. It's free. We're going to have prizes for the kids who win those games, complimentary food, local favorites. Mr. Tibbetts here is actually going to be bringing his great Cayman-style beef. Make sure you come by. Yes. He said, I beg your pardon. And then inside we're going to have our open house. It's like a mini trade fair. And we have some participating companies who are going to be offering amazing one-day specials, discounts, sales, and even some free services. They're Flow, Digicel, Credit Union, Cayman BRAC Development, Cayman Insurance Center, C3 Pure Fiber. And we have several hosted companies that are going to be also giving prizes. We have a spin the wheel game where 25 contestants will be able to win up to $5,000 of value in prizes, including prizes from your credit union. And we're going to also be launching our new website. We're very proud to develop this new website specifically for our members to have a better user experience, because it's all about the internet right now. We want to make sure that we stay up with the times and we can give our members options of accessing our member services. And also we'll be there, the staff, interacting with the members because we're members as well, and sharing in a day of fun, positivity, and all good members, serving members type of atmosphere, music, live performances, the whole works.
Okay. I see there's, and I think you may have mentioned it already, there will be an offer, 2 loan specials just for that particular day as well. Can you tell us about those 2 specials?
So the credit union will also be a part of the open house, and our one-day specials are the express loan special, where you can apply for an unsecured loan with no application fee. So we're going to waive the fee that day, and we're going to be launching our reduced rate for our within share loan that day. We won't mention or tell you what the reduced rate will be. You have to come and find out.
Yes.
So that's going to happen on Credit Union Day. So those are 2 amazing products and specials that you can't get anywhere else really, and it's only for our members.
But you can tell us though the waiver of the application fee, what that amount is.
So normally I think it's $50.
$50, yeah.
So they're going to waive that day. So you can come in once you apply for the express loan that day. You'll be able to get an express loan, obviously, if you're approved without an application fee.
Okay. Now, this spin the wheel day, you didn't have to get a gambling license or anything like that for that, right?
No, it's not a gamble. Stop.
I won't have you talking about my credit union that, Mr. Connor.
We don't engage in
No, but tell us about
that,
about the spin the wheel day.
Stop it. So basically, it's to reward our members as well as to incentivize our members. So one of the ways that you can get into the raffle is if you've paid your loan on time from January of this year up until September 30th, you're automatically entered into this raffle. If you come to Credit Union Day and you do one of our feedback surveys, you're automatically entered into the raffle. If you sign up for membership, and we'll talk about who are eligible for membership that day, you're entered into the raffle. And as well as if you sign up for one of our loans that day, you're also entered into the raffle. So those are 4 ways that you're eligible to play the spin the wheel game. We're going to choose 25 contestants, and once they spin, they're going to win automatically. And the prizes are up to, some are like $600 in value. We have Car City, who's giving a $500 gift certificate.
Wow.
Free, right? We're giving $500 share certificates. We have Samsung Galaxy S9s and iPhones from Flow and Digicel. We have free insurance from Cayman Insurance Center. We have lighting fixtures. And we also have a consolation prize of the Skip the Line prize, which our CEO introduced, which is really cool. So if you have this pass in your hand and you come to a credit union on any given day, you can jump to the front of the line, or maybe you're behind the line with loans appointments. You can jump to the front. So we have about 4 passes up for grabs as well. So it's a really awesome game. I wish I could spin, but I can't because I work at Credit Union.
Now, before we take the commercial break, sorry, Mr. Tibbetts.
If I can just stick something in there.
Sure.
just to add to what Patrice was saying. By the way, before I go any further, as you can hear Patrice talking, that gives you just a little snippet of the quality of the staff of the credit union.
Yes.
Here.
Yep.
So she mentioned about being on time and not being delinquent from January to September, being eligible for this spin the wheel thing. There's another thing that credit union does, which I think is not only interesting, but also it gives incentive to its members. If you, from January through, or should I say for the fiscal year, for the financial year, any financial year, if you have made your 12 payments on time and you pay everything and you're not delinquent, the credit union will give you back up to 3% of the interest that you paid during that period of time. Let me just use figures to show, for example. For example, if your total interest that you have paid was $2,000 for the 12 months, you get back 3% of that, which is $60. That may not sound like a hell of a lot, but the truth is when you look at mortgages and those kind of little bit bigger loans, the amount comes up to perhaps a ticket to Miami or something like that. So that is to give people incentive, keep your loan current, don't play around, and it also teaches the discipline, but the credit union is willing to offer an incentive for that, and that's kind of good.
Excellent. That's
good. And the second thing, very quickly, unless you want,
go ahead.
And the second thing, very quickly, is what I like specifically about the credit union. When you go to a bank, they charge you 1% for this, 0.5% for that, the commitment fee for this, and I can go on and on and on. I really can. With all kinds of fees, the credit union is very simple. And the credit union has certain benefits because of the credit union law, which the credit union doesn't have to charge legal fees and all that because they do their own closings in-house, so you don't have to pay no 1%. So, and that means a tremendous amount of upfront charges being saved.
Exactly.
We can
That's
talk
a good point for us
to
take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, we will continue to talk about International Credit Union Day with Mr. Kurt Tibbetts and Ms. Patrice Bearsing. Please stay tuned. The Business Buzz will be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Henry Mayothan Eden, 1850 through 1933. Henry Mayothan Eden was probably born in the 1850s. He was a respected leader in Georgetown. One of the prominent merchants of his day, he owned a good deal of property and was also part owner with Captain Livingston Anderson of the sloop Panama. The sloop was used to transport sand from the coast of Panama to Colon, where the Panama Canal was under construction. Henry and Captain Anderson would take turns commanding her every 6 months. For many years, he worked on the surveying ships that laid cable around the Caribbean. He was a manager of the Presbyterian Church of Georgetown during the early 1900s.
Radio Cayman's Historical Facts Vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
It's more than what we do. It's who we are. We were your official bank of the quincentennial celebrations in 2003. We were your Bank of the Year 4 times. We were voted as the inaugural top employer in 2010. We were the inaugural Business of the Year awardee in 2017. Who are we? We are Cayman National, your local bank, proudly serving you for over 40 years. It's because of you that our journey continues.
You may have heard of them by now. greenturtle.ky, a one-stop shop for your mobile needs. Whether shopping for a new phone or topping up a loved one, it's time to hop aboard the Green Turtle Express. From 24-hour delivery in Grand Cayman to sending credit worldwide, greenturtle.ky is the future of mobile. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. greenturtle.ky. They get there first.
That smells so good. Wow, looks delicious. Let me tell you, Grapetree Cafe is the #1 fish fry place on island. You can't see my plate, or? Yeah, and I'm looking at this menu and not only seeing fried fish, I also see roast fish. I see fritters, breadfruit, cassava, plantain, look here, wings, conch fritter, saltfish fritter and sauce. And watch, they even got chicken tenders and fries. And on Saturday, child, they even got chicharron. Plus, you got all the delicious local juices to wash it all down.
That's right. Grapetree Cafe here on the beach in Bordentown is loved by locals and visitors like me and my family. It is the popular weekend spot to enjoy the ambiance, great food, and soft island music. I'm returning home tomorrow, but I can't wait to return to the Caymans and enjoy the good food and island vibes at Grapetree Cafe in Bordentown.
Okay, wanna try to order up and come join me here so we can watch the sunset.
Cruise tourism is a vital part of Cayman's economy. It is the government's responsibility to create an environment where our people can have an opportunity to grow and prosper today, tomorrow, and into the future. It is a myth that Cayman does not need cruise tourism. It is a fact that cruise passengers spend $200 million per year buying services from small businesses, tour operators, attractions, restaurants, and retail shops. Those funds stay right here, supporting our economy and communities. Support the pairs. Support our tourism.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. My name is Orrett Connor, filling in for Miss Sabrina Turner, and it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Kurt Tibbetts. Yes, the Honorable D. Kurt Tibbetts, but he's in here this morning in his capacity as a member of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Credit Union. And we also have with us Miss Patrice Bersing, who is the marketing manager. Now, when we started off the show, we started talking about some of the founding members, and some of the names that you rattled off, Mr. Tibbetts, were those who actually put the whole together, and then we had those who put in their first deposits in the credit union. Let's talk a little bit more about that as well.
Right, so our 7 founding members, so 1975, these group of 7, I call them rock stars and superheroes because every time I learn more about them, they did amazing things, they're still doing amazing things, and they're long-standing civil servants. So we have the Honorable George McCarthy, we have Mr. Gilbert McLean, Miss Rachel Ebanks, Mr. Lemo Hurlston, OBE, Colford Scott, Ray Miller, and Louis Moncrief. Those are the
Can you repeat those again for us?
Right, we have Mr. Gilbert McLean, Louis Moncrief, Lemo Hurlston, Colford Scott, Ray Miller, Miss Rachel Ebanks, and Mr. George McCarthy are 7 founding members.
Okay, and of course, Mr. Tibbetts will know all of them personally.
Right,
Let's over get him to say a few things about them.
Absolutely. Well, Patrice said that these good people were rock stars and still are, and she is absolutely right, because as Caymanians, every one of them have made tremendous contributions, and our good friend Kirkland, we know, is no longer with us, but yes. Kirkland never stopped. He was one of the finest persons I ever met, and he certainly was a role model to people like myself, from Lions Club right up to all the stuff, even farming. Gilbert is still around. Mm-hmm. Gilbert has done, I think Gilbert is on tomorrow.
Yeah, yes, he'll be on for the record tomorrow.
So he'll be able to give a good history of all of the things, and we know Lem was our what administrative secretary we call him.
He came on last week.
Lem came on, yeah.
With Dwayne Sterling.
Lem has served as chairman of the Water Authority. He was also on various boards in the country, and in fact, I saw him at a funeral on Sunday. So he's still doing all kinds of things. I don't know what Rachel is doing right now. I think Rachel is retired.
Retired, yes.
I think Rachel is retired, but she was a very long-standing civil servant. And, of course, who else are we talking about?
Mr. Colford Scott.
I think Colford is still working with the government.
Yes.
What,
NRA.
DEH?
NRA.
Oh, yeah, he's fleet manager at the NRA,
yeah,
I think. But Colford was head of public works for many, many years.
And first Caymanian to work at Public Works that had engineering certification. I learned that as well through a story that they wrote on him when he...
Him and Donnie.
Yeah.
Him and Donnie Ebanks.
Yes.
And they were both civil engineers.
Yes,
right.
yes.
If I'm not mistaken, they both went to Cave Hill, UW, Cave Hill in Barbados.
Okay.
And then Mr. George McCarthy.
I forgot about George, because George is also a preacher.
Yes.
In his own right.
Right, yeah.
George and I served on cabinet for quite some time. And certainly George...
Chief Secretary, former Chief Secretary.
Yeah, he was everything.
Financial
Everything
secretary.
except governor.
He and I served on the supervisory committee of the credit union, and I think it's important for our listening and viewing audience to understand that, and Patrice mentioned that she interviewed the acting governor and learned that he was also the chairman at one
Acting
point
Governor
in time.
Franz Manderson.
Yes,
Yes,
right.
sir.
Why don't they just take away the acting and just...
Exactly.
They don't have
we
to
talk
send
about
anybody.
that.
I'm not making light of it, but I know it's not that easy.
Yes. And what is important for people to understand is that there are various capacities that people serve on a credit union.
Yes.
In addition to
As
the
volunteers.
salaried staff that are there, you have supervisory committees, you have credit committees, the board and stuff, and they're all unpaid positions, all volunteer positions. But
Absolutely.
Again, it is members helping members, which is basically.
And it doesn't get you a loan easier.
Yep. Now we're running out of time, so I want to give Ms. Patrice an opportunity to talk again, run through the dates, the times, the events, the sponsors for everyone, so that we remind them of that, because we know the credit union has a huge membership. I don't know if you have the numbers there in terms of the membership, and we won't talk about the reserves and the money that the credit union has. Yeah. Some of those banks would the local banks, would cringe when they understand the funds that we have. But let me give you a chance, Mr. Patrice. Go right ahead.
Right. So ICU Day is this Thursday, October 18th, and we're going to be celebrating with a members appreciation event for our members from 12:30 until 6 o'clock. Interactive games, prizes, mini fair with participating companies giving you one-day specials. Credit union will be giving some loan specials as well, complimentary food, and we're going to also have our website being launched that day. Our theme is Find Your Platinum Lining in Credit Unions. It is my understanding that public schools are out that day, so bring the kids down if you want to find something productive for them to do. They're on midterm. It's absolutely free for all members, and those who are eligible for membership as well. Let us not forget them. You can come out as well, find out about the credit union movement, find out about the benefits of being a credit union. Yesterday, the acting governor urged all civil servants and public servants to go out and get a credit union membership. So to be an eligible individual for credit union membership, you need to be a civil servant or public servant that's an employee of the government or a government agency, SAGC, or government funded, like Cayman Airways. You can be an employee of Cayman Airways as well, or an employee of utility company, or the direct relative, whether your spouse, your child, or your sibling. You can sign up through those avenues to be a credit union member.
Okay, and Mr. Tibbetts, again, wanted you to tell our listening, viewing audience why you're here.
Very, very swiftly, all right. Let me say that the credit union, headed up by Patricia Estwick, and let me just quickly say about Pat. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Pat was formerly the CFO at Cayman National Corporation. She was there for many years. I still don't know that they have any idea what they're losing, but certainly that has been to the benefit of the credit union and to the people of the Cayman Islands. And she and her team are doing a wonderful job. The strength of the credit union, in my view, very swiftly, is that it's the majority of its membership are just ordinary folk who go to work every day. They have to plan their lives, and the credit union is there to help them plan their lives and to work their way through life and to better their lot in life. And I don't think there's any more honourable cause than that. So that's all the more reason why those who are with the credit union should stay with the credit union, and those who aren't should really look favourably at the credit union.
Yes, and they're constantly working on offering new and improved services to its customers
and products
as well, because they realize,
members, not customers.
They recognize the challenges that people are having with our local commercial banks, and the credit union is there to buttress us and to firm up and to fill that void that is being created by the absence of those banks as well. I want to thank both of you for being here. Wish you a happy International Credit Union Day, and I will certainly be participating as well. And, of course, we will have Mr. Gilbert and Ms. Patrice on.
Do not
on
ride
Thursday.
your bike, please. Drive your Hummer. Don't ride your bike.
Okay. Folks, please stay tuned. The Business Buzz will be back, and we will be talking with members of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association as well, very quickly.
Right, I just want to thank
Susan.
Mr. Kurt Tippix for coming on with us. He's a member for the past 25 years.
Yes.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Credit Union KY.
Great. Thank you very much.
Studio time now by Price Right is 8:01.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore. Access information. Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Speaker of the House, the Honorable Makiva Bush, is in London representing the Cayman Islands branch of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association at the 150th International Meeting of the Royal Commonwealth Society. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
Cayman Branch Chairman Dr. Lemuel Hurlston nominated the Speaker to represent the Cayman Islands at the three-day meeting, which began Monday and is being held at South Africa House and Westminster. During the first 2 days of deliberations, the delegates will discuss better engagement of youth in Royal Commonwealth Society programs, which focus strongly on young adults. They will also receive a presentation on localizing the Sustainable Development Goals and the role of cities, as well as discuss environmental challenges the Commonwealth countries face. The final day will highlight the Society's engagement with Commonwealth citizens. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
When Cayman's data protection law comes into effect, businesses and any organization that collects your personal data will have new responsibilities. Appleby Global attorney Peter Colgate tells Radio Cayman's Talk Today the change is a good one.
This is to give individuals rights. For the first time, they can say, this is my data, and if I don't like the way someone's using it, I can tell them, I can stop them. And that's quite a powerful right, and it's one that they've not had before.
While some critics say the law will create an additional compliance burden on business, Mr. Colgate says requirements like telling people what you plan to do with their data before they provide it puts power in their hands to say yes or no.
Just to put it in context, I mean, about half the world now has data protection laws. So while Cayman's sort of playing catch-up in a way, we're just following a trend. And actually, when you look at the modern world and the way that people interact with social media, when you actually ask people how much data they think is out there, their understanding of what's out there and what's actually out there is that difference is terrifying.
The data protection law comes into effect in January. You can find out more by visiting ombudsman.ky. And a juvenile hawksbill turtle entangled in discarded fishing line is saved after being cut free by the Department of Environment officials.
It looked like the turtle had been wrapped up in the line fairly recently, so his condition wasn't actually that bad. He had minor abrasions around the fins and neck where the fishing line was wrapped, but it hadn't broken through the skin yet, so we were able to release the turtle right away.
That's DOE Chief Conservation Officer Mark Orr, who tells Radio Cayman, had the turtle been left longer, the consequences could have been dire. Mr. Orr says there are PVC pipes at all public public docks in Cayman to help fishermen recycle their excess fishing line.
They can just shove the fishing line in, and it goes down in there, stays in there from the wind, and then, like I said, we come and collect it as they fill up.
If you come across an animal entangled or in distress, you're encouraged to contact the DOE's 24-hour hotline at 938-6378. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC who will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Eileen McHugh. The American Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is having a meeting in Riyadh with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who's facing growing pressure to explain the disappearance of the Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The meeting comes after Mr Pompeo's talks with King Salman. He repeated his concerns over the fate of the journalist, who's not been seen since entering the Saudi mission in Istanbul 2 weeks ago. Levels of hunger in the Democratic Republic of Congo have doubled since last year, according to a new report by the UN and the Congolese government. It says close to half of all children under the age of 5 are suffering from malnutrition. The Angolan president, João Lourenço, says illegal immigration linked to diamond mining has reached alarming levels. Since the beginning of the month, tens of thousands of people have been deported, most to the Democratic Republic of Congo. China has given a detailed account of the nature of re-education camps it set up in Xinjiang to detain the region's Muslim Uyghurs. Xinjiang's government said they'd been set up to combat terrorism. Former detainees describe the camps as illegal detention centres. The German carmaker Audi has been fined over $900 million for emissions violations tied to its 6- and 8-cylinder diesel engines. Audi's parent company, Volkswagen, warned the fine would directly affect its earnings for 2018. A French woman who passed herself off as a survivor of the terror attacks in Paris 3 years ago has been sentenced to 6 months in jail. She admitted defrauding a survivors' fund of some $23,000. BBC News.
Access. Information. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
From happy beginnings to happy ever after,
Brit K protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
95% of claims settled in 5 days.
Low-cost life insurance.
And investments.
Security in retirement.
With a custodian pension plan.
For happy beginnings and a happy ever after,
visit BritK.ky or call 949-8699.
Brit K, where people come first.
Attention Radio Cayman listeners, join your favorite station Radio Cayman for the 12th annual Breeze Fusion 5K Walk Run, taking place Saturday, November 3rd at Smith's Bacadere. Help us in raising funds for the NCVO and the John Gray High School Musical Department. Registration is only $20 for adults and $10 for students. Visit CaymanActive.com to register today, or you can stop by here at Radio Cayman on Elgin Avenue. See you at Smith's Bacadere on November 3rd.
The Premier League is back. Every team, every game, every goal is on Flow. Sign up for the Flow Sports Pack today and get 8 dedicated channels to all the Premier League games in stunning HD. Call 1-800-534-7253 or visit discoverflow.ky for more info. The Premier League is back.
Thousands of Caymanians work in our cruise tourism industry. It is a myth that Cayman does not need cruise tourism. It is a fact that 4,500 Caymanians work in this industry today as taxi and tour operators, boat captains and crew, restaurateurs, retailers, water sports operators, and ambassadors at our attractions. If our cruise tourism industry is half of what it is today, what are we going to do with our people, the thousands of unemployed Caymanians? Support the peers, support our tourism.
In financial news, world markets were mostly higher today ahead of a U.S. Treasury report that will likely steer clear of labeling China as a currency manipulator, a status that could trigger penalties and cause trade tensions to escalate. Keeping score, France's CAC 40 added 0.3% to 5,107, while Britain's FTSE 100 fell 0.2% to 7,012. Germany's DAX rose 0.4% to 11,655. U.S. shares were set for an upbeat open, with Dow futures gaining 0.3% to 25,278. Looking at Asia's day, Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 rallied 1.3% to 22,549. The Kospi in South Korea was flat at 2,145. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, which has fallen 22% since early January, was 0.1% higher at 25,462. The Shanghai Composite dropped 0.9% to 2,546. In energy, benchmark U.S. crude oil lost 49 cents to $71.29 per barrel. The contract rose 0.6% to close at $71.78 per barrel in New York. Brent crude, the international standard, gave up 46 cents to $80.32. It gained 0.4% to $80.79 in London. And in currencies, the dollar strengthened to 112.11 yen from 111.78 late Monday. The euro eased to $1.1576 from 1.1580.
Advance Automotive Chevrolet is celebrating their 10th birthday by giving away $10,000 to one lucky person who buys a brand new Chevrolet. Not buying a new car this year? Well then, why not be one of 10 people who could win free gas for a year? Book any service with Advance Automotive before December 19th to enter. And remember, Advance Automotive can service any make of vehicle so everyone can enter. Visit AdvanceChevrolet.com for more details or call 945-9191 to book your service today. Terms and conditions apply.
Radio Cayman's premier health show,
For the Health of It, with Tara Bush,
is brought to you on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on 89.9 and 93.9 FM. Proudly brought to you by the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association. For more information on how you can become a member or the benefits of the CICSA, please visit www.cicsa.ky. For your convenience, the CICSA offices are open on Mondays from 9 to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 1 to 4 p.m.
For the Health of It, with Tara Bush.
Your weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings. Babe, not tonight. I need to be rested for all-day meetings tomorrow.
What are you talking about? I was almost asleep.
You keep poking me, and I can't sleep.
That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about. Not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dawson Drive, Industrial Park.
Good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 85%. Barometric pressure 29.92 inches and rising. The wind is east at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate winds and seas expected to continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as the ridge of high pressure builds over the northern Caribbean. Isolated showers are expected as an area of low pressure over the southwest Caribbean slowly drifts west to northwest over Nicaragua. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area drifting towards the west. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. Now temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Your winds will be east to southeast 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Your winds will be east to northeast 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will occur this morning at 10, high tide this evening at 5:25, and a low tide again tonight at 11:45. The sun will set this evening at 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:21. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning, with an increase in chance of showers thereafter as a tropical wave moves over the western Caribbean.
Your weather Weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings.
Good morning once again, and time now to take a look what's happening on our roads, traffic-wise. Coming from the east, we have heavy traffic on Shamrock Road and also on the Lidford Pearson Highway. Some delays expected as you head on down to Georgetown. On Cool Road, traffic is steady in some sections and other sections moderate. Moderate flow of traffic as well on Godfrey Nixon Way and on Eastern Avenue, and traffic flowing pretty good on Huldah Avenue and also on Thomas Russell Avenue. On Edward Street in front of the Georgetown Post Office, things not looking too bad as traffic is light to moderate, and light traffic coming from the West Bay four-way stop. On North Sound Road, traffic flowing moderately. And in and out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, traffic is light to moderate. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 as we update you traffic-wise. Have a good morning and share the road, Cayman Islands.
The 2018 Fall Labor Force Survey is currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office ESO. The LFS collects data on the employed and unemployed persons. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit the randomly selected households in all districts. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the statistics law. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from freedom of information. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
Calling Caymanians and local businesses. Green iguanas are out of control. Can you cull 400 of them a month? Maybe more?
If you can, bring proof you're Caymanian or your business license to the Department of Environment the week of October 15th and register for the Green Iguana Cull.
Bring your firearms license too if you're going to use it.
Registration is Monday through Friday evening, 4:30 to 7:30 p.m.
Remember, blues belong, but greens got to go.
Just about 70 martial arts students from the Purple Dragon competed in the under-rank belt examination, or what's known as the grading exercise, over the weekend. The examination is held twice a year, where the grading committee, which originates from Trinidad, will examine and test each student for different ranks. Head of Purple Dragon International, Don Jacobs, says grading is really an examination.
After 2.5 to 3 years, people try to become black belts and stuff like that. And people from different countries will either assemble in the United States, either in Canada, Trinidad and Tobago, where the headquarters are local, right. And so that's about it. The grading is where you'll display all that you have learned over the years, your discipline, your skills, all those good stuff.
Professor Jacob visited Cayman as part of his grading tour, which starts in Cayman and will continue throughout the world.
I'll be going to Mississippi. From here, I'll be Mississippi, Georgia, Texas, New York, Canada, and then down to Antigua, Tortola, Trinidad, and then from there we'll be going to Thailand, Japan, so the tour would finish next year.
The Cayman Islands Government Sports Day is back in full effect after being on break for a year. Government leaders and civil servants will compete in various events on and off the track throughout the afternoon of the second competition. Co-chair and subcommittee Bobeth Ogaro says civil servants are eager and ready for the big day. It happens this Friday at the Truman Bond Sports Complex at noon.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Good morning, how are you doing? Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is the second segment of the show, and we have members of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association in the studio with us. I first want to remind you that the Business Buzz is brought to you by us, or sponsored, same thing as brought to you by greenturtle.ky, where you can get your new phone at greenturtle.ky. No stress, no fuss at greenturtle.ky. Business Buzz is also brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies. You can call them at 949-6211. Also by Grapetree Cafe in Bordentown. Telephone them at 324-5860 as well. So they're all our great sponsors for the Business Buzz. And it is my pleasure to have in the studio now to talk about the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, the president of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, Mr. Andrew McLaughlin. Vice President is on his way, Mr. Paul Ebanks. He will be here. We also have Mr. Loxley Banks, who is a member of the executive, and Ms. Shadden McLaughlin, who is the secretary for the Cayman Islands Veterans Association. Lady and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Business Buzz.
Good morning.
Lots of activities going on with the Veterans Association. Big gala coming up soon as well. I want to give all of you an opportunity to talk about the events, some of the things that have taken place before, the pinning of the poppy and the governor, all of those good, exciting things. Who wants to start?
Well, I'll start talking about the gala. Well, actually, the poppy appeal, because it started first. We pinned the governor or the acting governor on the 10th, Mr.
I'm going to ask you to be about 4 inches away from the mic.
Okay.
That'll be good, yeah.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
And that went very well. And I must say that Mr. Manderson was very, very eloquently brought across the point of the poppy, and we were very proud of the words that he said. He gave a lot of meaning to it. It really hit home. And that signifies the launch of our fundraising campaign for the year. We only have 2 events, the Poppy Appeal and the Gala. So with that kickoff, then we're working behind the scenes to get the poppies ready for distribution to the various sites that they'll be at. We'll be at supermarkets, schools, business offices. Poppies will be available next week so that everyone can show their appreciation for the people that laid down the freedom that they're working on today. Yeah, freedom wasn't free.
Right.
Somebody paid the price. So the gala, then in the middle of that, the gala on this coming Saturday night at the Grand Marriott Beach Resort on 7 Mile Beach starts at 6 p.m. From 6 to 7, all the guests will start arriving. There'll be people there in full uniforms with all military decorations. And it's kind of just a warm-up. Now, the rules start right there, which most people don't realize, because you have to make sure to greet the president of the mess and our guest speakers. If you don't, then you will pay the price when you get into the room. Once we're in the room at 7 p.m. and the doors close, you now belong officially to the president of the mess. It's his mess. And anything you do inside the president's mess must be with the permission of the president. And he's a busy person. So you have to go through the formalities of how to request permission to do things. And if you don't do the right things, or if you don't wear the right things, or if you don't have the right etiquette at his tables, there's a fine imposed. For those that can't pay the monetary fine, of course, you can work it off. And sometimes that's the best part of the evening, to watch people work off their fines.
And that work has to be during the course of the gala as well.
Oh, yes, and we're talking about maybe so we had some people show up, grown men show up in a kilt, which is commemorative of their country, but the president of mess thought that they should have done something with their legs, because their legs were looking pretty bad. And their fine was a certain amount, and they said, well, we're very sorry, but we can't pay that. He said, okay, well, the 3 of you can do us a jig. So they danced away their fine. Okay. So that's always a possibility.
Okay, Madam Secretary, want to hear from you now.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I would like to thank Radio Cayman for, availing us, the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, to have the opportunity to come on, bring the awareness, keep the word out there. You know, as Andrew mentioned, freedom isn't free. So we continue to do what we do, especially at this very important time of the year. We're on our 100th anniversary for the end of World War I, which Mr. Loxley will mention and has mentioned before. However, with our gala, it's very, very important that the community remembers what our veterans have done. We have veterans that represent from all different kinds of countries that are all here coming together on one special evening to show everyone, show the Cayman Islands. So many people fought around the world to keep freedom free, right? So with our gala, it's $150 a ticket. All the proceeds stay in the Cayman Islands and benefit our local veterans and their widows. The Veterans Association does a lot to assist in aid in terms of food vouchers, assistance with utility bills, offset of funeral expenses. So our fundraising is very, very important and critical. When we joined the association, I believe, Andrew, it was 10 years ago, we had roughly 153 members. We're maybe more, but we're currently down to 41 members. And they have not left the association by choice. They had a higher calling. But we are appealing, and through this gala as well, not only through the Poppy Appeal, but we welcome all veterans. We need the fresh blood. It's an association like no other. It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood. I'm the only female veteran. I know we have female Cayman veterans here on the island, and it would be great to have them come and join the association and keep the brotherhood and sisterhood. We need to increase our numbers. We need to keep the awareness. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Loxley.
Well, again, OC, thanks for having us here, and I think you've got a good rundown of the gala. And, the Veterans Association, one of the main things is keeping alive in the Cayman Islands community the service that veterans have given in the defense and preservation of freedom and democracy over the years. And we're talking about Cayman veterans, all veterans, but especially in this case, Cayman veterans. Because what we enjoy here today is, as Andrew mentioned, it's not free. It didn't come free. Many Caymanians paid the supreme sacrifice to preserve what we have here today. Many of them gave a lot. As one of the songs says, some gave all and all gave some. We all gave some somewhere along the line, and sometime that sum was pretty high when you start looking at it. And you can't have freedom and democracy unless you're willing to stand up for it and put your life on the line, stand on the precipice, and face the battle. And throughout history, democracy and freedom has always been attacked, no matter where you're at. It's coming from every angle, and if you're not willing to stand up for it, then we'll get buried.
Okay. Now, Ms. Shadden did speak about the declining membership. Do you have honorary membership as well for the families of those who have passed on?
We do have honorary membership, and Andrew can cover the various levels of membership opportunities that we do have.
Okay, let's take a commercial break, and then when we return, we will talk more about the Cayman Islands Veterans Association. So, folks, please stay tuned. The Business Buzz will be back shortly.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
You may have heard of them by now. GreenTurtle.ky, a one-stop shop for your mobile needs. Whether shopping for a new phone or topping up a loved one, it's time to hop aboard the Green Turtle Express. From 24-hour delivery in Grand Cayman to sending credit worldwide, GreenTurtle.ky is the future of mobile. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. GreenTurtle.ky. They get there first.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Andrew McLaughlin, President of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, Ms. Shadden McLaughlin, who is the Secretary of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, and a member of the executive, Mr. Loxley Banks. We're talking about the various activities that are taking place with the Cayman Islands Veterans Association. Before we took the commercial break, we're talking about the fall in membership and seeking to determine what can the association do to see an increase in that membership.
Well, there's 3 actual levels of membership, and the first level, of course, is those who have served in active duty or in military forces. And after that now, we've had to open it up due to declining membership, and we now actually have a membership category for someone whose family member may have served, mother, father, brother, sister, yeah? And they can join and be a part of the membership. The last category now, associate membership, we learned this from the Royal Canadian Legion, who we have very close ties with, and they actually have people in their membership that have never served, don't have anyone in their family that's ever served, but they're dedicated to preserving the reputation and the lifestyle of the veterans that did serve. So almost anyone is eligible to join the Veteran Association if you have that desire to be a part of taking care of veterans. And that's what we're there for. Okay. Veterans caring for veterans.
Okay. Switch gears a little bit. In September of this year, last month I believe, there was an occasion where you rewarded students, those who were learning about Caymanian heritage and everything. Tell our audience about that.
Yeah. Our vice president, Paul Ebanks, he started a drive, actually a competition called the VQuAP, Veterans Question and Answers. And it was a challenge to the students. He asked the questions, and one of the schools in Northside took up the challenge, and the students that answered the question correctly were invited to a ceremony where they received the very first commemorative plaque, and their school still holds that, for the VQuAP contest. The plaque was made out of Cayman wood, and I leave Paul for all those details because that's his baby. It was made locally out of wood from his, I believe, his grandfather's house.
Mahogany.
Preserved from his grandfather's house.
Okay. Want to talk some more about the gala itself, Ms. Shadden?
Sure. Okay, so it's, as Andrew mentioned, it's this Saturday at the Marriott Beach Resort. And we even have the graciousness of the Marriott to provide us with a special room rate. So you take the elevator home, to say. So you can spend the evening there at a special rate of 137 CI for the night for those that are attending the gala. The gala tickets are $150 and tables are $1,500. We are just about sold out in terms of table availability. We do still have some seats. We're very, very thankful to the community for supporting us, and we are 7 years strong now, and it's all because the community provides the support. You know, we want to keep encouraging the community to continue to support the veterans. As mentioned before, we only have the 2 fundraisers, so it's critical that we bring the community together, have a wonderful evening. Recognize it's not just about recognizing our veterans. We have our CIPS come and join us. We have fire service come and join us. We have our amazing cadet corps who is there in full dress uniform, and you know they're your first point of contact upon arrival. We have complimentary valet at the hotel, and again, all of the money raised stays in the Cayman Islands to help our local veterans. So nothing goes off island. Your money is safe here. And you are helping our aging veterans and the widows of veterans that have had their higher calling to sustain livelihood. And that's what the Veterans Association is about. So our fundraising continues all the way through to Remembrance Day. And, you know, if you can't make it to the gala, you know, you're going to see the veterans out there shaking tins, or volunteers that are helping us shake the tins for the collections, running all the way. You're going to see our veterans Private Streak in the parade, so you can get your poppies. You're not paying for your poppy. You're making a donation. You know, for anybody who actually saw the compass last week when we did the pinning of the first poppy on our acting governor, Andrew and Paul we're actually representing our, as you can see, Mr. O.C., the Lest We Forget bands that actually have our poppy, so you can actually be wearing your poppy year-round. It's a $10 contribution. Actually, should I say minimum $10? You're welcome to donate, but we need to do the minimum on the bands so you can represent all of the veterans proudly and wear this all year.
Yeah. And it's important to point out that unlike some other organizations, you don't get any funding directly from the government.
That is correct, sir. We do not receive funding. We are very honored to say that the Ministry of Community Affairs has actually come on board this year as a platinum sponsor to provide us with some sort of assistance.
Great.
Which is, we're getting there one step at a time. Hopefully it'll continue and it'll grow, and it's a very enjoyable evening. We do have ministers that come and join us for the event, so they're able to obtain additional information where maybe they didn't have the appropriate information at that time. We have an amazing guest speaker who is one of our local Caymanians. He left right after high school, Mr. Henry Bodden. I should address him as Lieutenant Colonel of the United States Marine Corps. He's currently serving active duty in the United States Marines at the Pentagon.
Okay.
So he will be our guest speaker for the evening. We also have our gentleman, Mr. Truman Connolly, who was one of our Caymanians who actually received the Purple Heart.
Purple Heart in Vietnam.
Yes.
First wounded Caymanian to serve in Vietnam.
So we are going to be amongst some amazing and incredible individuals for the evening. So we're encouraging those that if you have not gotten your tickets yet, you can check our website at CaymanIslandsVeterans.org, or you can check Facebook for additional information at Cayman Islands Veterans Association. All the information is there. If you're looking to still become a sponsor, there's opportunities for sponsorship that continue, or to purchase tickets, you can call myself at 926-5189.
Okay, great. Now, Mr. Banks, we hear a lot of several people talk about their family members who, for instance, served in the Home Guard, and they're no longer with us. They're going to a higher calling as well. But many of them are intrigued. They want to know more about it. How can we get those individuals involved and interested in the Veterans Association, joining the association, giving the support, and at the same time learning about what the organization was all about?
Well, I think, like Andrew mentioned, the associate membership, and then there's the one before that that would cater to direct family members who can become members of the association. And by the way, I think there's only 2 surviving Home Guard members left here. One is Mr. Haldane Barton, and the other one is Mr. Smith, Andrew Ashton Smith in Northside.
Okay.
And they did a vital job here in Cayman. I mean, if you can imagine, there were lookout posts all around Cayman, all around the coast, Cayman and Cayman Brac. There was, if you know anything about the West Bay Peninsula, what they call a Haida Barcas. There was a lookout post there. And for them to get water up there for their sustainment, they had to roll what's a 50-barrel, wooden barrel, keg, they call it, of water up through a track now that is called Captain Reginald Drive, one of the main drives going up to Barcas.
Right.
They had to roll this barrel up through a little, I don't believe that the path was more than 2.5, 3 feet wide, with huge trees on every side, and they had to, but that's how they got their water up there, and they had to walk up there. They also used catboats to go around from West Bay or Georgetown around the whole perimeter and wind up there. So, they served a very important role here in Cayman, because if you ever looked at the map of the Western Caribbean, sort of where Cayman is situated in the basin here, you'd be surprised to see all of the boats, ships that were torpedoed in this general area, torpedoed right next door. So it, the Home Guard served a very, very vital role here in Cayman. As I said, there's only two left, and of course, as Andrew mentioned, a lot of veterans need assistance, and that's what these drives are all about. The gala and the poppy, of course. The poppy appeal has been around for a long time. I know, run around with them on your bicycle when you.
Yes, yeah, Scouts, the Cubs, yes.
Yeah, same here, and that's going back about 75 years. So.
Yeah. Well, we've been joined by Mr. Paul Ebanks, who is the Vice President of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, and your President, Mr. McLaughlin, didn't want to encroach on your turf at all. We were I mentioned the fact that you did have an award that was given to students for about learning their heritage, and want to talk about that plaque that was given to them. Mr. Paul?
Thank you very much for having me. And it's called the VQuop Shield, Veterans Question and Answer Participation, with the emphasis on participation. Mm-hmm. It started last year, and it will be running this year as well. What we'd like to do is get more schools involved, but we are, sticking to primary schools so that the question can be on a more level field, really, rather than trying to involve the high schools. The test date is the 9th of November, Friday the 9th.
Okay.
And all of this has been okayed by the Director of the Department of Education Services. And we will be sending out the invitation very shortly, so that that'll have all the information on it. Whoever wins the shield, it will be presented at the end of the school year, which we believe is the 18th of December.
Okay.
The change this year is that we're having pins, VQuop pins, and those that got the question right, and obviously the school won it, we will be presenting pins to those children. And another thing is that we have asked that the children be allowed to wear those pins, not just at that time, but all the time in school, and even when they transfer to another school. So this is a good start for us. One thing I wanted to mention was that if the history of the VQuop Shield, I wrote that, and in the beginning said that I was inspired by this shield that I personally heard about. Since then, I have got some good information that this shield was actually held by Northside for a long time, okay, and then it was won by West Bay. So we're chasing up the real shield, and it'll be a good thing that if we could find that out there. So if anybody has any information, and you would have had to go to school really in the, I suppose, the middle 50s, and would have been the town hall school, and you could give me a call. I'd really appreciate it. 916-0701.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break now, folks. Please stay tuned. The Business Buzz will be back shortly.
That smells so good. Wow, looks delicious. Let me tell you, Grapetree Cafe is the #1 fish fry place on island. You can't see my plate, or? Yeah, And I'm looking at this menu and not only seeing fried fish, I also see roast fish, I see fritters, breadfruit, cassava, plantain, look here, wings, conch fritter, saltfish fritter and sauce, and watch, they even got chicken tenders and fries. And on Saturday, child, they even got chicharron. Plus, you got all the delicious local juices to wash it all down.
That's right. Grapetree Cafe here on the beach in Bordentown is loved by locals and visitors like me and my family. It is the popular weekend spot to enjoy the ambiance, great food, and soft island music. I'm returning home tomorrow, but I can't wait to return to the Caymans and enjoy the good food and island vibes at Grapetree Cafe in Bordentown.
Okay, wanna try to order up and come join me here so we can watch the sunset. Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Cayman's cruise industry must be preserved and developed. It is a myth that the cruise lines will continue to call on Cayman at the rate they do now without the piers. It is a fact that the mega-class ships will not be tendered. Arrivals will decline by half over time as the older ships are decommissioned. This will hurt our economy and thousands of Caymanians who work in this industry. If we want to continue providing opportunities for Caymanians, we need the piers. Support the piers. Support our tourism.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. My name is Orrett Connor. I'm filling in for Miss Sabrina Turner this morning, and it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me, we had Mr. Andrew McLaughlin, who's the president of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association. He has had to leave us for another commitment. Again, he's teaching, doing a mass casualty course at the hospital this morning. So again, you see our veterans continue even now to support and to lend their expertise to our community as well. So we have in the studio with us the Vice President of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, Mr. Paul McLaughlin, the Secretary, Ms. Shadden, Paul Ebanks, sorry. Just give you a new name, Paul. Mr. Paul Ebanks, the Secretary, Ms. Shadden McLaughlin, and member of the Executive, Mr. Lox LeBanks. I'm going to ask Ms. Shadden to tell us some of the benefits, some of the offerings that you have for your membership, the support that you offer to them.
Absolutely. In 1978, the Cayman Islands Veterans Association was founded by our founding fathers. Since 1978, the Veterans Association's goal was to provide assistance to our aging veterans and the widows of veterans in need, widowers. With that, the funding that we raise assists us in being able to provide food vouchers for those in need. And it's not just a food voucher just for meals. So we provide, if the assistance is actually needed, we'll provide a Foster's Food Fair gift certificate. They do have a pharmacy in their airport location, so they are able to also purchase the meds that they need that maybe their insurance is not covering. In addition, we provide assistance with the cost of utility bills, up to a certain amount that the association can provide assistance with. In the event of a passing of a veteran or a widow of a veteran, the Cayman Islands Veterans Association will assist with up to $2,500 in offsetting costs for the funeral, which is paid directly to the funeral home. So our funding does go quite a long way. We try as best as possible when there is a need to provide the assistance for that need. So through the Poppy Appeal, as Mr. Loxley mentioned, the Poppy Appeal has been going on for many, many years. However, we were seeing that there just wasn't enough through the Poppy appeal, so we had to get creative and find an additional way to raise additional funds, really bring the awareness, because for some reason, some people just are not acknowledging the fact that our veterans are out there shaking tins, and we're not shaking tins because we want to be seen. We're shaking tins for a purpose. The shaking of tins is very, very critical to providing the assistance that our veterans do need. So, people have this facade of, oh, a veteran, they must be old and decrepit. That's not the case. I'm not shy. Most women don't talk about their age, but I'm 39 years old, and I am considered a disabled veteran. I was injured while I was serving in the United States Marine Corps, but I'm still capable of working. So myself, I don't need the assistance. My husband, Andrew, he doesn't need the assistance. But we have veterans that just either weren't part of that pension phase when pension was mandatory, and this is where the funds come into play. Okay. We have veterans that need the assistance.
Yep. One of our listeners has written and said that Henry Borden, one of your guest speakers at the gala, he is the son of Claircy and Margaret Borden, the late Claircy Borden, actually. Yes. And I believe his grandfather, Loxley, would have been Mr. Captain Benny Borden as well. Yes. And you also mentioned...
and the other grandfather would have been Sidney Gomez.
Mr. Sidney Gomez, yes, exactly, yeah. And you also mentioned your other guest speaker as well. Can we talk about, because on a previous show we talked about PTSP, and there's going to be some discussion about that, someone talking about that as well at the gala? Who wants to take that?
Yeah, I think, even as I look back over the many years and knowing some of the Caymanians who served in World War II, actually served in World War I, and those who served in the Korean conflict, those who served in Vietnam, those who served in the Gulf crisis and Suez crisis and all over. And I look at, sort of run it through my mind, what these guys, I don't think came across any lady veterans.
We need our lady veterans.
Their sort of demeanor and attitude after coming back from the service, I think nobody goes in, especially if you're in a battle environment, comes back the same. And there were quite a number here in Cayman who, they came back home and they couldn't mesh into society. Mm-hmm. I know one presently alive, a terrific musician, one of the top musicians in Cayman many years ago, and I think he was in Vietnam, and he came back and he almost completely has lost it. Mm-hmm. But throughout the years, many Caymanians have experienced this PTSD, which is caused from stress, and that's where the Veterans Association come in and try to maybe get these guys in and get them hopefully back on track, because there are probably a few still in our modern day society.
We actually do have some veterans that are not part of the association, and we've tried to actually appeal out to them for them to join the association. Mm-hmm. They do have PTSD, and PTSD is a very, very touchy subject to mark on, because unfortunately in Cayman we do not have any therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists that are actually qualified in that division of discussion and how to handle PTSD cases. So Mr. Truman Connolly is going to come and touch on it, as touchy as the subject is, but it needs to be addressed, because the Cayman Islands Veterans Association is going to be working towards getting someone in Cayman either certified or trained, or if we can do clinics where we can bring someone down who's certified in it to train someone here locally, so they do have someone to go to talk to that's going to understand and know how to walk them through it. So that's what Mr. Truman Connolly is going to be discussing. It's very, very important because PTSD, you have over 22, the statistics in the United States, 22 veterans that commit suicide every day.
Wow.
So it is a problem and it needs to be addressed, and we don't want to see that happening here in Cayman. So, yes.
Right here, I'd just like to describe a little scenario that we're talking about this stress problem, mental problems, really what it is, and we know what some of the attitudes are like in association with mental problem in our society, but some of these veterans, they're in battle. There was one that lived right there on Bogasan Road. He's gone on now, but in the battle from Belgium going into Germany during World War II, they were in constant battle for something like 26 weeks on the battlefield. Eating out of the helmet and showering in dirty foxholes and whatever. Actually, he came back home, and I believe he lived to my knowledge, a fairly normal life. He went back to sea. Of course, he died young. I think he died at sea. But these are some of the things that Caymanians, have experienced. We had 2 veterans that we know of, and we think there might have been probably up to 6 Caymanians that served in World War I. One of them, the Yates brothers, Hewell Cadwell, and McKeever Yates, they came back. One of them became chief of police. I don't think he stayed around very long because he wanted a little higher calling. Mm-hmm. He went off to the States. He died in the States. But one of them went out, his life went out the tragic way. And I think that's what happened to him. He was over in North Africa during World War I.
Okay.
And they were presented medals back in, I think, probably 1928, I believe it was, somewhere in that area, at a big ceremony right down in front of what's now the museum down in Hogstye Bay. And the history that we got trying to find out some of their movement states that they were dropped off in Cayman after the war by a tanker.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Okay, we're unfortunately running out of time. I want to give each of you an opportunity for some closing comments as well, and we'll start with Vice President, Mr. Paul.
As we get the poppy appeal underway, we want to say again a big thank you to all those that support, and just remember it's a donation that you give. You're not actually buying the poppy, but what it means is that we're able to use those funds to help those that are needy. And those that are trying to organize this are getting older and getting less, and those that we need to help are getting older and getting more. So all of your help is needed. We would like to also say that we have the bands, the wristbands, and those will be available for a certain donation. In other words, we're asking for $10
but
donation.
You can give more if you want.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
we will be around in the locations. It actually started or will start on Monday when we get ourselves organized to get out to the general public. But we do appreciate, I have found that people not only give generously, they give lovingly. And this is a nice feeling.
Excellent. Thank you. Ms. Shadden.
Yes, sir. Again, we just want to call out a few of our sponsors that came through, and most especially Ministry of Community Affairs, Britt Kay, A.L. Thompson's, there's an array of sponsors that have actually come through. It would take me a little while to go through. So we just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsors. Our Cayman kind community is just amazing. Thank you for continuing to support the Cayman Islands Veterans Association. And again, our gala is this Saturday at the Marriott Beach Resort. It's $150 a ticket, or it's $1,500 for a table. There are various sponsorship levels, so you could check us on Facebook, Cayman Islands Veterans Association, or you can call me at 926-5189. That's 926-5189, and I can give you further information. But again, thank you, Mr. O.C. and Radio Cayman and all of the community for supporting the Veterans Association.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for the work that the association is doing as well. Mr. Banks.
Well, I'd just like to appeal to all the veterans out there in the community to give us a call here. Those of you that are not members of the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, we need you to come in and become a part, and you can call any of us here. You can call me, 916-7755. You just heard Shadden's number, and Andrew's is 916-5317, and Paul's is 916-0701. We want to get you involved, and there's lots of work to be done. And for those of you listening who may have information about some of your families serving within various military organizations during the last 100 years, because we're trying to create a register of Caymanians' involvement in the defense of freedom and democracy over the last century. And there's been many of them, and we don't want to leave any of them out. We want to have a record of them, and so that, always there can be ascribed to them. They can be ascribed to them the honor and the remembrance that they should have.
Okay, thank you very much. And we here at Radio Cayman and the Business Buzz would also like to thank our sponsors, greenturtle.ky. Get your new phone at greenturtle.ky. No stress, no fuss at greenturtle.ky. We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And finally, Grapetree Cafe in Bordentown. You can telephone them at 324-5860. And we want to thank you, our listening and viewing audience, for joining us at the Business Buzz on Radio Cayman this morning.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.